So just quick reactions here. We talked last week when we were on the show is when the Uncharted like bootleg half trailer came out. That's when we came up with the episode title when Chris was like, send it to me, I'll watch it. Yeah. And so we let Chris watch the grainy like phone off of another phone type video. I never ended up watching it. Now the Uncharted trailer, it dropped the next day after, and it's like 2.5 minutes or something like that. 2 minutes, 40 seconds, somewhere in there. What did you guys think? Now we've seen the full thing. Router, did you get to watch the trailer, Uncharted?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's National Treasure all over again. Is basically what it is. Like that trailer looks exact. Like just throw in Nicolas Cage and you've got National Treasure and you're done.
What?
I thought.
Felt like, I mean, yeah, sure.
It's fair. Just it. And
I mean, we already know. We know the game borrows from a lot of things. We know it's not original.
Right.
But it's all been done. For me, it's all been done before. Like we have Raiders of the Lost Ark. We have National Treasure. It's the same treasure hunters and the evil guy who wants. Yeah. And like I loved playing the games Uncharted and interacting in that, and I always thought that it should just stay that way. Now
you're not buying
I'm a huge Tom Holland. Well, I'm a huge Tom Holland fan. I do love Mark Wahlberg. Are they the right match for it? I don't know. I'm probably not going to see this in the theater. I'm probably going to wait on this one.
There you go.
I'm not one. Like, it's just, for me, I'm just like, yeah, okay, I've seen this before. I've seen, like, the same kind of story. And so I'm not super excited about it.
That's a good segue to Chris, because Chris also doesn't like going to the theater.
I mean, no, I will not see this in the theater.
What did you think when you watched the trailer?
I thought it was fine. I mean, it looks like it can be a good time. I think what Router says, there's a lot of validity there, that it's, we have seen a lot of this type of stuff before, but I mean, that's almost every movie in Hollywood. So, it is what it is. And then I will say that I am still in the camp. Like I'm going to go see it. It's titled Uncharted, or I'm going to see it. I'm not going to see it in the theater, but I'm going to see it. It's called Uncharted. It's Nathan, it's Drake, it's Sully. They have those names, but it doesn't feel like them to me. Like to me, I know it can't be the same thing, but I don't think the casting's good on this personally. I mean, I like all the actors, but it just doesn't work. And I don't know who they could have cast that would have worked. I really don't know. Like, I don't know who I would have wanted, but I'm just like, I just don't, at this moment, I'm not buying Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. Even if you say, and that's the weird thing is like, so at least from all of the stuff before, is that he's supposed to be younger.
Right.
But there's very clearly stuff that's in like, that's inspired by events in the third video game.
In the fourth video game.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like later video games is basically the point that I was trying to make. So it's like, and again, I know those are just inspirations because yes, those are big, like epic moments, and you need people to be interested in your movie. So you use some of those things. But people like us, that are the video game people, we're gonna be like, but that's from the third game or the fourth game or whatever game.
But I mean, you had that. But I like that young, though. You had that young Indiana Jones series.
Who watched that?
Ran.
Who watched that?
And even the young Indiana Jones segment of the Indiana Jones movie, and that'd be like, you'd be like, no, he doesn't. He has adventures as an adult. He doesn't do these adventures where he gets in scrapes and close calls as a kid. No, you're just gonna have adventures.
No, but I mean,
what Chris is saying
I like
beat
those
for
scenes,
beat,
though.
like for anybody who's watched the trailer, the whole falling out of the ship and then being on the cartons, everything, like that's literally thing you play in Uncharted 3.
Oh, was that two? I thought it was three. I thought it was two.
Whichever one. I thought it was three, but regardless,
because it's a nod to the.
And I understand that's a big epic moment, so you want to have that. But to me, like as someone who you're already having to sell on, like this person who doesn't really feel like they can play Nathan Drake, you're trying to sell me on it. Then you're going to have them play these things, but the younger's like, nah, I'm just not buying it. So I'll watch it at some point, and I'm sure it'll be an entertaining movie. Like I'm not saying it's going to be bad or anything like that. It's going to take me some time. I'm going to have to watch it and get through it and just suspend my disbelief of the things that I don't particularly like. So I will watch it. I'm not like down on it, but I wasn't blown away. I'm not going to go see it in the theater because, quite frankly, Spider-Man's going to be the big test.
Well,
I don't think I'm ever going to go see a movie in the theater again. Quite personally, like I don't, unless I just have to go with family or they really want to go to. I don't plan to do that. So that wasn't. I wasn't going to go because of that. It's not because of I'm not interested in the movie. Because the minute it comes to whatever streaming service, or I can rent it on iTunes or Amazon or whatever they are, that's probably when I'll get it. The minute that it's available, which will be like 45 days later. So cool, I'll do it then. But it's like I don't like it all comes down to I just don't like the casting. I don't think the casting is right. But it's just like with the HBO series of The Last of Us. I got issues with that too, but I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it its fair shake, and its shot. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I hope it blows me away, but I just can't get past the casting. I think it'll be a fun time, but the casting I feel like is just all wrong to me personally.
You know what I think would be great if this wasn't just a standalone movie. If this turned into a series, I think I'd probably be more excited about it because then there could be other adventures.
You mean you want it as a television show, or what do you mean?
No, a series like The Last of Us, like a Netflix series, like it has this, like 10 episodes. Shows, like this is just.
If you guys go support it in the theater, maybe it will become a series.
It's gonna get a sequel. Well, it's gonna be like a trilogy or whatever, more than likely. I mean, unless it totally bombs, which I don't anticipate it's going to. It's gonna have another episode, a second and a third, probably.
Ed,
maybe.
I feel like you're going to be the most positive of all of us.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be the movie version of what Uncharted is as a video game. They're not looking to, it's just going to be a fun time. You're just going to go. We play Uncharted because it's a lot of fun. You get some good story, and I think it's just going to be a fun time. I'm looking forward to. I'm more than willing to be pleasantly surprised. I'm definitely going to go see it in the theater. I'm willing to give it a shot. I've seen a couple minutes in a trailer, so how many times have we said the casting in such and such is not good, and then you see the movie and it's like, oh wow, they kind of killed it. I did not expect that. It
absolutely could be that way.
So I'm not. I'm going in just. I'm just going in looking to have a good time, and I think it'll be fun.
So I'm falling in between all of you guys, where. This looks like hot garbage to me, but I'm also going to go see it on opening weekend in the theaters because
it looks like hot garbage to you.
I didn't think it looked like hot garbage.
So this is the thing that I'm confused about. And I know that right now I'm the person that read the book and then the movie came out and then I'm like, that's
I was about to say, they made an Uncharted book? I didn't know that.
No, but I'm just saying, that's the position, some of us are taking where it's like, that's not what Sully's supposed to look like. Where is his mustache?
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's not old enough. Brown hair, you have to be kidding me.
Yes.
And so, so there's a lot of things that irk me about the trailer. Like Nadine even being in it bothers me because like Chris said, I thought this was supposed to be young Drake. And then we were going to get another movie, hopefully with Nathan Fillion or whatever his name is. But, I was hoping that it was like Tom Holland was going to do one as young Drake, like teenage Drake. And then we were going to get the adult Drake. And it feels like we're getting the adult Drake with Tom Holland, but Tom Holland doesn't come across like an older, like he looks to me like he's between 19 and 25. Not between 25 and 32 or something like that.
I think that's how old he's supposed to be, though.
How old? Which one?
Between 19 and 25.
Okay. So, but I thought, kind of coming off of 4 when they and I knew he was going to not play 12, but I thought he was going to play like that 18, like teenager-ish Nathan Drake. But it feels like the things that he's getting into and the story beats that they're choosing, like Chris is saying, is like doesn't happen until way later. Like they're covering so much. Where like the fact that they even bring up his brother, you're like, oh, and they says, oh, my brother said this, my brother said that. Like they hit those bullet points like 2 or 3 times in the thing, and I'm like, okay. And
I didn't mind the brother stuff in particular, just that. No, aspect.
I didn't. It's just that the brother stuff doesn't really hit home until 4, when he's the oldest out of all the games. That's when you meet his brother. That's when you get to know who Sam is and all that stuff. And so that's just what was dinging in my head. And then Nadine being in it, I'm like, wait, which one is she from? I thought she was from 4, and so like, there's just, maybe she's from 3. But so it's just kind of all that stuff. And then, man, unfortunately, I'm with Chris. When I was like, at first, when I was like, okay, Tom Holland is playing a young Drake, cool. But now it seems like Tom Holland's just playing Nathan Drake.
Yes.
And I don't feel him as just Nathan Drake, as full-grown Nathan Drake.
Gabe, I think, is putting it better than I put it. I was expecting this whole time because when you just heard the names, like there's going to be Uncharted, and these are the people that are being listed as possibly the cast. When it's all Rumorville, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Then you start hearing this narrative of like, well, it's going to be a young Drake. It's like, okay.
And you're like, young Sully. You were because remember that they released pictures early, and Mark Wahlberg didn't have a mustache, and you're like, and he's like all brown hair, and
even though if I remember right, when he was young Sully in 3, he still had a mustache, like he still looked like
mustache,
Sully,
but he had brown hair.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying? So I was like, okay,
exactly.
It's young everything.
And I'm not even like dead set on the mustache so much, but I want I didn't get it from the trailer, but I want him to have the gruff. I want him to be the character of Sully. You can be a little differentiation in the look or whatever, but regardless, when it comes to Drake, like I was expecting, like, okay, I can maybe believe like a young Drake, like give me the young adventures of Drake, and then like as Gabe said, later on in movie 2 or 3, we get a new casting and an older guy, and this just feels like they told us we're getting like those young kid segments that are flashbacks in 3 and 4. But we're getting middle of Uncharted 2 Nathan Drake. But it's Tom Holland playing it. And that just doesn't feel right. There's and I get it because we're the people that read the book or however Gabe put it.
Right.
But that's what it just feels wrong. It doesn't feel right.
I keep telling people,
I felt the same.
I keep telling people I can't tell if it looks good or just expensive.
Why can't it be both?
No, it can be both. But to me, I'm like when I'm seeing and what part of my brain is tickling. Is it because it looks good to me or just that it looks expensive and high dollar? And I think it's just that it looks expensive and high dollar. What were you going to say, Ed? It feels like what?
I remember however long ago it was when they announced Robert Pattinson was the new Batman. And everyone was like, what? Yeah. That glowing vampire is, and now everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's so good. Look how dark it is. It's so good. I don't know.
But that's the difference though, right, Ed? Is like when we heard Tom Holland, we were like, okay. Now when
I don't think people did that. We're like, okay. I think people from the get were like, what?
I was kind of like, what?
I was like, oh, young Drake, Tom Holland, he does a great American accent. Like, I was so excited. I like Tom Holland.
I do too. Yeah,
but it's the reverse of what's happened because I'm one of those people with Batman. I was like, Robert Pattinson. And then you see the trailer and you're like, ooh, he's like an angry Batman. Oh, Lord, he's beating people to a pulp. I got to see this. And so, but I'm the opposite now with this one where I was like, yeah, Tom Holland. So and now I see it and I'm like, Tom Holland. Dude.
That's funny because I'm still not, I'm still not sold on glowy vampire homeboy as playing Batman either. I mean, the movie itself looks interesting. I like the dark tone of it. I think that's what's going to pull it out and make it work. But I'm not like anti, but I'm just like, at this moment, I'm just like, I'm not sure I'm sold on him specifically. Like, if you were to pull him out and put some other actor in, I think that movie could still work. Like, I don't think he's going to be what the anchor is for. But I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong.
My problem has nothing to do with him being Batman. This is going to sound so picky.
Oh, my gosh.
It has everything to do with him being Bruce Wayne. He just don't look like a Bruce Wayne to me.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like playboy, billionaire Bruce Wayne. He looks like emo. I stick to myself and don't know nobody. Like, this is supposed to be the guy that gets Catwoman. Like, he's supposed to have game. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
that's right.
When they show him he looks scared and like, and like all emo. And I'm like, come on, man, you're supposed to be Bruce Wayne, Doc. Like, of Wayne Enterprises. You're supposed to be a
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I'm like, okay,
that's a good point.
Have him be skinny Batman because he's skinny as Batman, and have him just beat people to a pulp and be dark, and they actually show his eyes painted, which I love because cool. The other movies,
I do
they
love
would just
that.
take the mask off, and all of a sudden their eyes aren't painted. And I was like, okay, there's stuff in here I like, but this like, I don't know, this like Edward Scissorhands version of Bruce Wayne, I'm not feeling that.
Right.
Anyway,
yeah.
Chris, you got anything else?
I'm being Edward Scissorhands.
He's got scissor hands, is what he's got.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I cut out my microphone. No, I don't have anything else.